All right, it's 12 o'clock, which means it's time for another edition of Workin' Women Wednesday. Thank you so much, family, for joining me. I'm Cecilia Towns, the Sporty Esquire, and if you don't know, Working Women Wednesday is the opportunity for me to share with you what I wish I knew when I was just starting my career. So last week, if you tuned in, you know that we talked about self-promotion and the importance of being able to self-promote without looking like a complete jerk. And one of the things that I mentioned was having mentors and sponsors, but I didn't get a chance to really talk about that, so that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to explain to you what a mentor is, what a sponsor is, and why you actually need both. People talk about mentors all the time. They don't always talk about sponsors, but you need both to get where you want to go in your career. So let's start with the thing that everybody knows about, really, which is a mentor. And a mentor is someone who's experienced and they are trusted, and you can go to them for advice. Mentors are often, they'll give you personal advice, but they'll also give you professional advice, right? You look up to them. They could be a role model. You could admire their journey. You guys often have a bit of an affinity for one another. And that's how you connect with one another. The mentor is someone who's looking to pour into somebody else. You know, they're farther along in their career and they're kind of like, they want to give back. So you're not a charity case necessarily, but you're not really giving a lot to that relationship. You're taking from that relationship. They help you grow so that you don't feel so isolated. When I think about my mentors, they're all women, you know, and if you work in industries that are not that diverse, where there aren't a lot of women in them, then mentors are really important because they help you feel like you're not alone, and they help kind of offer a roadmap. And when stuff pops off at work, you can call them and talk to them kind of loose and free, and they give you advice, right? So now let's talk about the sponsor, though. A sponsor is someone who you align yourself with intentionally, who has the ability to propel you into leadership. And when you're propelled into leadership, that means you're getting more money and more power, right? So it's not necessarily someone that is a role model for you. You don't even have to get along with that person. The reason that you connect is because you are doing your job in a way that makes not only you look good, but it makes them look good. So as they elevate in their career, they develop a sense that they kind of need you. And it's someone that really goes to bat for you, because this person who's often one, but usually like 2 steps ahead of you in your career, they see something in you and they have access to these places that you don't have access to, right? And so when there's meetings going on about who to fire when layoffs are being made, that person's going to bat for you. When there are meetings about who to put on the fun project, that person is saying, put my girl in, she always does her job. When there are meetings about who to promote, that person is there for you because you have proven to them time and time again that you're going to do your job and do it well. When I think about my sponsors as compared to my mentors, my sponsors have always been men. We don't necessarily have a lot in common, but I bust my ass at work and they see that and they want me to keep making them look good. And so my sponsors have been black and white men who really see the potential in me, and they encourage me to step out and take risk and take on jobs that maybe not everyone is capable of doing, or maybe not everyone is interested in even doing. So now that we've ironed out like what a mentor is, what a sponsor is, there are some actual instances where they overlap. Although they're different, they actually overlap. So some of the similarities are they'll both give you advice, different career advice. The mentor is probably going to give you advice that you immediately trust, and sometimes it feels really safe, whereas the sponsor is going to always want you to take risk. They're going to say, oh, you don't have any experience in that, still do it anyway because I think you can do X, Y, Z, and I think it could take you to the next step. The feedback they're going to give you is sometimes more critical than the feedback of a mentor, because the sponsor is looking at you work and the sponsor sees exactly where you need to go. Your mentor might not even be in your profession. So your mentor is not necessarily going to give you the exact feedback that you need to go where you want to go. They're both going to make introductions for you, right? But you want to recognize some of the differences in that a sponsorship is more of a symbiotic relationship, okay? Like, nobody's going to be your sponsor if you're not going to make them look good. If they're taking a risk on you, if they're going to recommend you for this promotion, they need to know that you're going to come through. A mentorship, they really don't have you. You're not investing much in it. You're taking from that relationship. And so there's not a lot of risk involved for either party in a mentorship. Whereas in a sponsorship, there's a lot of risk involved. If my boss sponsors me for a promotion and I mess up, not only do I look bad, but he looks bad. So there's high expectations from your sponsor. They need you to come correct, and they need you to come correct all the time because they're trusting you. So the question then becomes, well, how do you form these relationships? A lot of your mentorship relationships are going to be formed kind of naturally, right? You guys like each other. You see in yourself where you want to be. You see where you want to be in that other person. They see where you used to be, where they used to be in you, and so you guys have kind of a bond. Sometimes you can just directly ask somebody to be your mentor. On the other hand, a sponsor, you have to actually do a lot of work to attract the attention of a sponsor, right? You have to be busting your buns constantly at work. So that means you need to outwork everybody and you need to outperform everybody around you because you want to stand out. But it's not always just about work, right? They also have to know that they can trust you. So you need to show them that you're loyal to the team, that you're loyal to the cause, that you're loyal to the struggle, which is important for a lot of entrepreneurs. People think that mentorships and sponsorships are only for people who are working in corporate settings, but that's not true. Entrepreneurs need them too. More so because you don't have a direct manager that's looking out for you all the time, right? You need to find somebody who's in your industry, who's ahead of you in the game, who can put you in the places where you need to go because it's just you as the entrepreneur. So these people need to understand your loyalty to whatever you're trying to accomplish. So you got to outwork everybody. You got to show that you're loyal. And you have to show yourself, right? It's about personal branding. So they want to know that you're a good worker, but they want to know that you're going to bring a sense of diverse thought to the industry, right? So why are you standing out? Are you just coming in and keeping your head down? No. Instead, they want to see that you're coming in, you're bringing fresh ideas, you are, sharing your ideas, you're pushing the limits, you're not risk averse. That you're somebody that they actually want to align with. You're going to make them look good. And then again, you need to lead with yes. These are, there are going to be tasks and projects that nobody else wants to do. I'm in that situation right now. I literally volunteered myself for something that absolutely nobody else in my office wanted to do. And I've already been reaping the benefits from that because I led with a yes, because I said yes when nobody else would say yes, and I said yes without complaining. So that's what you have to do to attract your sponsors. Lead with a yes, outwork and outperform everybody, and be genuine. Show who you truly are, because people are going to respond positively to that. And don't get lazy. Once you actually, start getting promoted by your sponsor, you can't let up. Because you can't ever make them look bad, really. I mean, they will go to bat for you in instances where you kind of mess up, or instances where, some people have to lose their jobs. But at the end of the day, they need to always be able to maintain their confidence in you. So yeah, that's it. You need a mentor and you need a sponsor. You need multiple mentors and sponsors, but you need them because they're both going to elevate you in different ways. They're going to promote your growth as a professional, as a person. But if you're trying to get more dollars, if you're trying to get more power, what you really need to make sure you have is a sponsor. Don't try to look for a sponsor that always necessarily looks just like you or thinks like you. Look for someone who has power, who sees your potential, and that you have no problem making look good. So that's about it. If you want to start meeting potential women that can be sponsors and mentors for you, you know what you could do. You could come to the Gladiators Women in Sports Mixer, July 12, 2018 in Atlanta, Georgia. I really appreciate you all tuning in. Give me all the feedback, good, bad, indifferent. I want to hear it. If you have any suggestions on anything else you want to hear, let me know. Talk to you guys later.